Analog 3D hit with release date delay. So I wanted to do a video on this because I did do an original video regarding this game being released. I think it was like back in October that it was announced, and I thought this was awesome. It's one of those things where I have all my Nintendo 64 games still. I have my Nintendo 64. So when I first heard this, I was like, "Oh, like this is cool," but personally it wouldn't really affect me because I still have my 64, so there's really no need for me to get this. But after reading the information on it, one of the things that really grabbed my interest was the statement that not only will it be able to play your 64 games, but it'll actually be able to convert it into 4K. So for someone like myself that actually, would like to stream my 64 games and everything like that, I feel like that would actually be a game changer and something really cool to be able to actually go back to my classic games and be able to, stream it if I possibly can for you guys eventually and be able to actually have it really clean in 4K. So I think that would be really awesome and something that's really cool to hear. So the fact that it got delayed, in a sense, I'm just like, oh, that's a little bit unfortunate, but at the same time, it does kind of have some hope for me in the sense because I'm hoping that it would be one of those things where I can still go ahead and get it. Because I heard these types of consoles and stuff like that, they tend to sell out pretty quick. And not only that, but from what I've heard, I'm not sure if it's the case with this one, they tend to have it so that they don't really do too many more of the actual consoles themselves. They kind of have their shipment of what they make, and then it kind of like that's that. So if you kind of miss out on that, that might be it for you, which is really unfortunate if that's the case. But I'm hoping that they keep, with the production on it and everything, so that there are possibilities for more people to get it later on. Because if it can, what I mean, do the 4K and everything like that, I think that would be really cool and really awesome for old school fans and everything like that. So go ahead and get into the article per usual, and I'll get my thoughts as we go along. So, Analogue has announced that the Analogue 3D, the company's reimagined Nintendo 64 console, has been delayed to July 2025. Originally planned to release in Q1 of 2025, the Analogue 3D allowed Nintendo 64 fans to play their favorite classic games from the console with a promise of 100% compatibility for the entire 64 library, which is really cool. And that's really awesome to hear. So in October of 2024, Analog announced that Analog 3D will launch for a price of $249.99 with its initial Q1 2025 release window. The Analog 3D will be available in black and white variants, and gaming controller and accessory manufacturer 8BitDo announced the company will be producing an official 64 Bluetooth controller, which is sold separately for $39.99 on Amazon. And that's one of the cool things right there is they're going to have the controllers for it as well. I think it is going to be a little bit different than the original, but yeah, it's going to be kind of a little bit more functioning, I feel like, from what it looks like. So, demand for the Analog 3D was made clear when stock quickly ran out moments after pre orders went live in October of last year, and fans eager to re experience their favorite Nintendo 64 games on the new console will have to wait longer due to the most recent delay. And see, that's the thing right there is because it got sold out so quickly and everything like that. I'm wondering if it is still going to be available because I have a coworker that's kind of been talking about it, wanting to pick it up. And I keep mentioning to him that I'm not sure if it's going to be available or if it might be sold out already. So he's been kind of mentioning, he's been kind of looking into it and hoping that things go well in that regard. So Analog's official Twitter account confirms that Analog 3D shipping has been delayed to July of 2025, and the company is working to ensure all orders will be shipped. No further action is needed for retro gaming fans who already pre-ordered the console last year, but Analog reiterates that customers can cancel their pre-orders at any time thanks to the company's 100% refund policy for pre-orders. Despite that, reception for the delay appears to be mixed. Since Analog didn't share any official real time footage of the Analog 3D in use, many gamers in the reply section are wondering about how well some of the best Nintendo 64 games will perform on the console. And see, that's a weird one right there, is that they haven't given any information on what the console will actually look like in use, you know what I mean, with them actually playing some games. I'd like to hope that, with the technology we have nowadays, it shouldn't be too much of an issue, but who knows, that could be one of the reasons why they are delaying the 64 because of the fact that they have issues with being able to get it to work in the sense that they want it to. So, like I stated, hopefully it's not that's the issue. It's probably just like manufacturing issues, something like that. But only time will tell in regards to that. So, Analog delays release and shipments to the Analog 3D console to July of 2025. When the Analog 3D releases, the console will support every single Nintendo 64 game ever made, according to Analog. Instead of emulation, the console features hardware compatible with old cartridges. The Analog 3D can play Nintendo 64 titles in 4K, which is what I'm looking forward to, and it supports up to 4 classic Nintendo 64 controllers at once, along with a slew of other controller options via USB and Bluetooth. In addition, the Analog 3D has memory pack and expansion pack features built in with the new hardware, and the console will include an HDMI cable, USB cable, and USB-C power supply. So that's one of the great things, is that it is going to have all kinds of up-to-date, technology and everything like that, that'll hopefully make it run really well, so that, like I stated, with being able to play 64 games, that shouldn't be too much of an issue. So fingers crossed in that regard. So, although there's no new stock on the Analog 3D just yet, Analog did restock the white variants for its popular Analog Pocket handhelds in white. The handheld can play cartridges based games from the Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance handheld, along with the Sega Games Gear. There's still stock of the black Analog Pocket and all accessories at the official Analog website. So, again, that is one of the scary things right there, is if they aren't going to be able to have more of the production for the 64. So who knows, the fact that they're stating that they were able to kind of get some more for the handhelds kind of leaves a little bit of hope in that regards. But yeah, at the same time, it is a little bit worrisome, because if it does run out, if they do sell out and that's kind of the end of that, I feel like that would really be unfortunate, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of people out there that would be willing to at least give it a shot and see how well it plays with their games. Because I'm sure there's some people that have, a few 64 games lying around, or if they just want to kind of get that nostalgic feeling and kind of go back to being able to see what that's like. So, in a sense, I mean, this is a little bit unfortunate for the people that pre-ordered that there is a delay, but I'm just hoping that it is some good news that they are going to be able to have some more manufacturing and everything like that. So, again, only time will tell, but fingers crossed that it's going to be positive. So those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Are you guys looking forward to this coming out, and do you think it'll be a hit once it does, in regards to, old school 64 fans being able to play their games? And do you think the technology is going to be able to achieve what it's stated they're hoping it will? So if you guys can let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, if you guys could like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys have been watching this long, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, until next time, Harmonic out. Peace.